Try sitting in total silence for 5 minutes. Most people can't do it. Not because they get bored, but because their brain starts to panic, which then makes you feel slightly uncomfortable. And you might be thinking, I like sitting in silence, but when was the last time you actually just sat? Did nothing, without grabbing your phone, without music in the background, just nothing. That's because you've accidentally trained your brain not to be silent. Instead, you've trained it to expect something new every few seconds. Therefore, when nothing is happening, your brain treats that like a problem. Most people check their phones 144 times a day. That's over 50,000 times a year. If you sleep a regular 8 hours a night, that's once every 7 minutes you're awake. Not because they need to, but because their brain makes them. Imagine someone tapping your shoulder every 7 minutes, all day long. That's how often your attention gets hijacked. Not to do something urgent, but just to see if something has changed. But to understand why silence feels like a problem, and how embracing it can literally make your brain work better, we need to go back to where things changed. First, let's define silence. It doesn't mean no sound. It means no curated distraction. No phones, no playlists, no stimulation. Just space for your brain to breathe. Now, imagine life before all that. No notifications, no feeds, no headphones in every pocket. Silence wasn't something you searched for. It was just there. Not because it was intentional, but because it was the default. You didn't just reach for something, you looked out the window. Let your mind wander. Listen to your own thoughts, even if they didn't say much. But around 2007, something changed. The iPhone came out.
Today, Apple is going to reinvent the phone, and we are calling it iPhone.
And it wasn't just a new device. It was a new expectation. A screen in your pocket. Apps, notifications, instant stimulation. The whole tech industry followed. Every device was designed to keep your attention. Suddenly, silence didn't just get interrupted, it got erased. Every moment could now be filled, and once it could be filled, it felt like it should be. If you were born into a world of smartphones, you grew up with noise as the default. Not noise like traffic or talking, but digital noise. Notifications, background music, apps, group chats. Every moment filled, from the minute you woke up to the second you fell asleep. You didn't lose silence. You never had it, which makes it harder to recognize what's missing, harder to question what's normal. Because how do you fix something if you've never known life without it? Now imagine this. You walk into a hotel lobby. You press the elevator button. It lights up. But you press it again and again. The elevator's not coming any faster, but your finger keeps pressing it. Yes, it is impatience, but it's not your fault. It's what happens when your brain gets used to instant rewards. It wants something to happen, even if it's just the illusion of control. That's what your phone is, the button. And your brain? It just wants to push it. Why? Because your brain's been trained to chase the next thing, not to enjoy it, but to expect it. This is dopamine, and it's not triggered by pleasure, it's triggered by anticipation. Therefore, the more you chase stimulation, the more your brain builds loops that say, if nothing's happening, something's wrong. Which means silence doesn't feel boring. It feels broken, like a glitch in the system. But it goes even deeper. Silence doesn't just feel weird, it feels threatening. And that's not your fault either. In nature, noise equals safety. Birds chirping, wind blowing, people talking. When the world is alive, it sounds alive. But when it suddenly goes quiet, that's when danger is near. A predator, a threat. a moment before something happens. Imagine you're walking home late at night, streetlights above you, footsteps echo on the pavement. Somewhere behind you, a couple talking, the usual background noise. But then, everything goes quiet. The voices stop. The air feels different. You didn't see anything, but your shoulders rise. Your eyes scan the shadows. Your body knows something's changed. That's your nervous system on autopilot. It's reacting to the absence of noise, because silence wasn't peace. It was a signal. That signal kept your ancestors alive 10,000 years ago, and now it keeps your body alert, even when there's no threat at all. Here's what most people don't realize. Silence isn't just a lack of noise. It's a different mode, a different brain state. It activates something called the Default Mode Network, or DMN. This is the system responsible for reflection, memory consolidation, self-awareness, creative insight, emotional processing. Think of it like your brain's internal whiteboard, the place where ideas connect and where long-term understanding gets built. The problem is, the default mode network only switches on when your brain isn't busy doing something, like replying, reading, watching, or scrolling. So when you're always distracted, your brain stays locked in task mode. Efficient, but shallow. Fast, but forgettable. You don't get to digest the day. You don't reflect. You just keep moving. And the result? You don't remember conversations as well. You don't think deeply about decisions. You don't recognize your own emotional patterns. You feel foggy, blocked, burnt out. So if you felt unfocused lately, if your thoughts feel shallow, if you forget what you were saying mid-sentence, maybe it's not because you're broken. Maybe it's because your brain hasn't had space to catch up. Because silence doesn't just clear your head, it gives your brain the tools to make sense of what's already in there. And the longer you avoid it, the harder it gets to find clarity. But that discomfort, that resistance to sitting still, that's not a weakness. It's the muscle memory of a mind that's been running too long. And the only way to fix that is to stop. Not forever, just for 5 minutes. 5 minutes of stillness. No tasks, no scrolling, no intentional distraction. Because when you sit with the quiet, you activate the part of your brain built for insight. The same part that helps you make smarter decisions, see patterns, and connect the dots. The part of your mind you've been ignoring. So give it 5 minutes. Let your brain breathe. Let your mind catch up. You'll be shocked by what's already in there, waiting to be heard.